Hey guys, it's Adam from Metro Hobbies here, continuing our little series on how to get into Gunpla Part 3. So today we will be going through the construction process and the tools needed to construct said Gunpla, and of course how to actually put those tools into use. So let's get started, shall we? Okay guys, so we'll start off with the very basics of the basics. Now, your kits will not come pre-constructed. That is part and parcel of the hobby. If not, well, you're looking more at just action figures and the like, which are great, but we're about construction here. So your kits will come on these. These are known as runners, also known as sprues. The parts are all labeled on there. We will go through those as we are showing the cutting sort of process. And you will need an actual tool to be able to get these little parts off the runner. So to do that, you use the very basic tool, the most basic tool of all, and the bread and butter of every hobbyist, the nipper, also known as the side cutter. This will be your go-to. You will get to know this like no one's business. Fantastic little tool, and we will show you it in action. Let's get started, shall we? Okay guys, so let's give a quick run through. So we are on sprue E1 here, and this is part 2. We will be cutting off the runner. These parts down here are called the gate. These are gates to the actual part here. Gate up there and gate there. Now what you notice is when I'm going to cut this, I'm not actually going to cut straight next to the part like that. That is something that I will not be doing. I will be cutting a little bit further down, say about around there. Now the reason we want to do that is when we cut close, there is resistance between these two parts as it is essentially a full structure. When we cut that, it is going to put stress on the gate and the actual part, and that will leave a solid white mark. It's not exactly something you want with your kit, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our nippers, our side cutters, and we're going to go in about there and just give a quick snip there like that. That part is now cut away. We'll turn it around there. Usually easiest to turn your part rather than cutting on odd angles. Go around again like that, nip away, and turn that around there like that. Mind the fingers, of course. Last thing we want is to take our fingers off. These are sharp tools at the end of the day. Kids, get your parents' permission. Pull that part out like that. Now, as you can see, that is not flush cut. We do have the little bits at the end there and there. Now from here, what we're going to do is we're going to take our nippers and get in close. Now this is just one method, the quickest method. There are other methods we will run through after with various tools. So we're going to go in close like that. Try to keep it nice and steady. A little bit of force. Come straight off like that. Go in close again, like that. You're going to see there's a bit left over there, and we will be dealing with that in due course with our other tools. Again, nice and easy like that. Nice and easy. And a bit more like that. There we are. We have our part out of the runner, and we will be good to show you a bit more in depth. Let's continue. So as you can see, we were able to cut that piece out pretty flush cut. Not too bad, but occasionally you find bits of the gate left over that are on a bit of an awkward angle, or maybe you didn't cut close enough and you can't get the nippers in close enough to the actual part you want to slice cleanly off. From there, we will move on to our next tool. The craft knife, also known as an X-Acto knife or an X-Acto blade. This is a very sharp tool, so safety first. I will always say safety first with this sort of stuff. Can use it to get in those odd little angles and get that extra bit of gate off and keep it nice and flush cut. So let's see that one in action. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to slice a little bit off there, a little bit off here, and then straight down. Less stress on the plastic, less parts to worry about. So let's get that started. So we're going to get that and give it a nice sort of slice there. I would also recommend using a cutting mat, as no one likes when you leave slice marks on the kitchen table. Trust me, my roommates tell me that all the time. Invest in a cutting mat. Get in there a little bit closer. There we go, like that. Slice that away sort of thing. Lift that up like that. If you find there's a little bit left over, don't be afraid to sort of get in there and just graze off that little excess. Just like that. There we go. That's not looking too bad right there. Again, you get your little bit of stress there, but we are going to be able to get rid of that in our next tool presentation, so let's continue on. So next up after our craft knife, we have files. So again, you will still find occasionally that you want to take off a bit of that excess gate and you want to get even closer to the actual part, so less and less of the stress marks. From there, the files are the way to go. Best sort of ways to get yourself a flat, though diamond files and the like do have their advantage. I would suggest a variety, as you can see here. So let's get stuck in and see that in action. Okay guys, so we will now proceed with the filing. We'll get this in. The secret with a good filing is you want to keep the file as flat as possible if you're on a flat surface. So let's get started with that. Try to only move the file and just get that nice bit of pressure, not too much. Want to keep a nice close eye as you get in. Just keep it nice and easy. You'll see, get that excess off. And like that, as you can see, all gone there like that. Straightforward as anything. Secret, again, flat file on a flat surface. Keep it as steady, even motions, and that'll get you through nice and flush right there. All right, so next up we have sandpaper. Now, the main thing you need to know about sandpaper is the lower the grit, the rougher the sandpaper. The higher the grit, the smoother the sandpaper. And the finish you're gonna get there is dependent on whether it's lower or higher grit. So to go through, we have a couple of examples here. So we have 120 all the way up to 10K. Now 120 is very rough. 120 grit is usually the roughest sort of sandpaper you want to be using. Most people tend to stick around for a finer finish at around the 2000 mark. I personally like to go all the way up to 10,000, and I will show you why as an example. A lot of people will go between, just all the way from 120 to 800. I suggest having the full range. Get as much range as you can so you can get as many different finishes as you want. You'll never be at a loss for exactly how you want it to end up. If you want it rougher, if you want it smoother, the options are all available to you. So let's see that in action. Okay, so again, we have the nub, the bit of gate left over, and we're using 120 grit here. So this is the rougher kind, and we will show you this one in action here. So get that. You can feel it taking off a bit. You can see that's getting smaller already. Now, as you get closer, you're gonna notice you might end up catching a little bit on the sides around there. So to avoid a bit of that, yeah, it's nice and close. From there, we'll move on to our 240. So this is half as rough. Gonna shine that up nicely. And from there, you can't even actually tell where the molding process started once you're at that 10K. It is probably the finest you can go, and yeah, you could never tell that that was actually cut off from a runner. It's fantastic like that. Now the last tool you are going to need is a simple, humble, but very much a necessity in modeling, and that is the tweezers. Tweezers are a go-to. You can never overestimate how much you're gonna need tweezers. It may sound crazy, but you will use these so much more than you think for applying decals, stickers, even holding pieces in place. If you're just touching them up with a bit of pen work or maybe some painting, they are going to save you so much stress down the line. So let's show how to apply a basic sticker with these. Let's get started. Okay, so we'll now show you the best way to apply your stickers using a trusty pair of tweezers. So we're going to need sticker number 9 here. So what we're going to do is we're going to bend the sheet a little bit like that, just until we rise it up a little, like that. And we're going to get our tweezers, grab it on the end like that, gently peel it off. See, we've got the sticker there. From there we get the part we're applying it to, like that. Now one of the reasons you want to use your tweezers is because it's not going to have any of the oils, like that, any of the oils on your skin that will take away the adhesion from the back of the sticker. So you'll have maximum stickiness. You can of course press that down like that, nice and smooth finish, just like that. So that is a brief overview of all the tools you will need to make your model kits and how to put them into practice. They come in a wide variety of different flavors, different companies, etc., and they are available in many different ways. Whether you go for a basic tool set or individual tools is entirely up to you. All are available on our website or in store. So come on down, say g'day, and practice your basics, move on to advanced sort of techniques, and you'll be able to create marvelous little kits like you see here. That about sums it up, guys. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, ask any questions down in the comments, or feel free to give us a call, and we will see you guys in the next video. Take it easy.